We can understand class as a crystallization of different kinds of capital through examining the interplay between economic, social, and cultural capital. This is probably the most important book on class ever published. I love it because it finally just breaks down everything and puts it all into one book, and it does it in such a beautiful fashion. You need to stop what you're doing and read this book. It lays out everything beautifully. Social Class in the 21st Century by Mike Savage pretty much hits the nail on the head when it comes to explaining class in Britain. In 2011, the BBC released an online questionnaire called the British Class Survey to crazy popularity that shaped the way we talk about class in the UK. The survey included responses from over 160,000 people, making it one of the largest surveys of its kind in the UK. However, due to selection bias, the BBC conducted a separate, nationally representative face-to-face survey using identical questions with 1,026 respondents. In this book, Savage alternates between the two to explore class in Britain and puts those insights into this 2015 book. Before I get into my ratings on the book, please like and subscribe and tell us what you think about social class in the comments. Even though you're not from Britain, please let me know. The ratings for this book are as follows: usefulness 100, engagement 100, depth 88, accuracy 97, clarity 100, uniqueness 95, book cover 100, overall score 96.75. The beginning of the book goes over a brief history of class in Britain. Savage took particular care to portray that the upper class has historically been seen as a very exclusive club. I did like this introduction. It didn't last too long before he got into the meat and potatoes, as they say, of the book, but it was very much needed. Throughout the book, Savage draws upon Pierre Bourdieu's class analysis in 20th century France to juxtapose the current situation on class in the UK in the 21st century, which was done very well and kind of just sprinkled throughout. There is a study that goes along with this book, well, which was, I don't know what inspired what, but there's also a study about the BBC survey that Mike Savage and other researchers worked on. I'll put that in the description, and it's kind of see as supplementary reading. This book, though, is excellent on all accounts. The clarity, the compassion, the facts, all of it. It is beautifully balanced. Let me go over a few themes in this book through some important quotes. As always, nothing that spoils the book. There's a wealth of information in here, but here's what I do on this channel. I like to give people a bit of a taste of what they're going to read. In the interviews, things come up, there's a reason why qualitative studies have, an advantage over quantitative studies. And you just can't beat doing something face to face. I mean, if you watch, this is my guilty pleasure, but if you watch shows like Location, Phil and Kirsty always say, don't do anything online. Don't do any house hunting, house shopping online, or house buying for that matter. Always see the place in person. And this kind of rings true in this book as well, in terms of like the insights Savage brings from the face-to-face interviews. For example, he touches upon shame that people who have gone through upward mobility may go through when they've actually, elevated themselves. Thus, while the contemporary experience of upward mobility in Britain may involve indisputable gains in economic capital and social status, it is important to consider that such benefits can often come with a considerable psychological price tag. This conclusion was made after interviews with people who felt out of place because culturally they were working class, but economically and socially they weren't. Being in certain spaces with more culturally elite and or middle class people was a lot psychologically for them. Add on the pressure and at times the hatred that some people feel because they may be viewed as class traitors because they've moved up on the social mobility ladder. It is quite a spot to be in. I hear this a lot in terms of black people who kind of move up in the world and how they kind of let go of certain aspects of black culture but then keep other aspects of black culture. It makes for quite awkward conversations when everyone is in the same place and there's just such a disparity economically and socially. So yeah, I understand that. Also, being a Brit myself, I know how much we focus on class and how constant the discussion is. However, I was surprised to find out that a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, didn't really care. They didn't care now, and they didn't even care back in the 20th century. Savage notes that as long ago as the 1960s, when British class divisions have usually been seen as very strong, even then half the population did not see themselves as belonging to a social class. I suspect this is due to certain stigmas surrounding certain social classes. Savage also explores this in the book. People do not want to show off, nor do they want to recognize the shame and stigma of being at the bottom. Everyone's kinda in between a rock and a hard place when it comes to these things. And Savage noted that during the interviews as well, when people were talking about meritocracy, hard work, and then just the economic system in general. I have a video on British class that may or may not be released before this one. I can't remember. I'm actually going to record it after this video though. And I go into it a bit more. So if you're interested, definitely check that out. The only slight weakness with this book is that the fact that they were unable to explore the intersection of class and ethnicity in depth. If I remember correctly, I think this was due to like a sampling problem or something. It would have been nice for it to be explored as it does play a factor. However, at the same time, the book is just so rich when it comes to class, pardon the pun, that I'm okay with it personally and it doesn't detract from the book. So definitely read this book, definitely pick it up. It is so vital. It just lays everything out beautifully. It touches upon how being at elite universities help, being located in certain areas of the country, in certain areas of London also helps. There's maps and tables and graphs in this book. It really leaves no stone unturned, besides ethnicity a bit, I guess. But it is an excellent book. I love it. 5-star club for sure. Just one of the best books ever. If you're interested in class, have a look at my video essay on the British class system based on Mike Savage's work. Thank you for watching.